Okay. My name is Julio A. Sanchez Molina. I'm Dominican. Both my parents are Dominican. My dad is from Bonao and my mom is from El Capitan, which is the capital. Both my brother and sister were actually born in Dominican Republic.
And you were born here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you consider yourself Afro-Latino or just Latino? What do you?
I do consider myself Afro-Latino.
And you are an actor?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm an actor.
I remember you said that you got your representation sort of because they were looking for...
Yeah, they were looking for like more ethnicity. And,
right. So can you tell me a little bit about that?
I kind of just took that as an opportunity that they were looking for just different people.
To represent.
Yeah, to represent different stories, and I have my own to tell.
What would be your stance on going out for like an African-American role or for something that's not necessarily your race but something you can pass as?
Right. So most of the time I feel like I don't want to take other people's like opportunities or spotlights.
Yeah.
I usually look for roles that say like open ethnicity or like they cast multiple.
Right, instead of somebody looking for an African-American role.
And I try to stick to also like character types or things that I feel like connected to. Mm-hmm. Anything that I'm really just not connected to, I'd let them know like, hey, like this
doesn't seem right for me.
Yeah.
And there has been situations like that.
Yeah. Like involving like different things.
Where you've gotten something you're like, this is definitely not something that I could culturally or racially like identify with.
Yeah.
And do you feel like it's your responsibility to say no to those roles, or you feel like it's their responsibility to not give them to you?
I think it's like my responsibility to like say no to those roles because with casting they're just gonna send anything that they think can reach you. They don't fully know you,
and they don't know you.
Yeah, and it's an opportunity thing. It's not like a thing of like, hey, like this is totally you. It's more like, hey, like this sounds like you. What do you think? It's always a dialogue.
Would you say you have more positive or negative feelings about being in like a mostly white industry that has so much to do with like how you look and how you act?
I think there's a bit of both. I think the idea that there is now like a space for more stories to be told from different races is like fantastic, but at the same time the antithesis to that is that it was mainly a white culture.
Right.
So I think it's a bit of both, and I think it's just like a thing of over time learning as a community of artists and people to figure out like what stories do we really want to tell, and also not being so careful about like what we do, but more about like how, like who are we going to support and what are we going to support and how are we going to do that, and also being open to the idea that there are multiple stories and multiple diverse opinions and people.
So do you think because you straddle kind of multiple cultural lines, and you said that you definitely try to censor what you go out for as opposed to like African American roles and Afro-Latino roles or Latino roles? Yeah.
Like clearly I'm not a gangster. So when I go out for gangster roles, what I look for mainly is like I don't focus on that. Like at first, you're going to focus on that. You're going to look at that. You'd be like, oh, no, they're gangster. Like, that always happens. But I always try to look in between the lines, and I try to look at the stories that they're telling. Like a realistic background
instead of just like a tone of I'm a gangster.
Yeah. Because, like, the first ever gangster role I ever went out for was, like, for Blue Bloods, and it was exactly that. Everything after that I found had, like, a story to tell, or it had a viewpoint that I thought was interesting to bring in.
So you try to ground it instead in something that is realistic and not just the tone or a caricature of something.
I try to ground it in like what they lost, what are they missing, like what is it that they love that they're trying to like grab for, or like why are they angry, or like what is the story that I can tell personally
that's not just kind of offensive.
Because I think we're done with that.
I think nobody wants to see that anymore. All right. Thank you, Julio.
No problem.
This has been very informative.